Good evening, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good night, everyone, and God bless you. Alright, the following is a collection of news from Patriots. Let's get into the news this late Thursday night. I've stated for months that Elon Musk is purchasing Twitter, primarily to ensure that his adversaries or other billionaires don't go after him through that platform, primarily also to ensure that the Democratic Party morally superior, wonderful liberal, Democrats, don't accuse him of being an operative of another country, who's a bigoted, horrible human being trying to undermine democracy while being influenced by the foreign policy of, our adversaries abroad. Now, that's what Democrats do against anybody they don't like. They accuse the person of being a bad human being under the influence of some other foreign entity. They can never look in the mirror and say, okay, their policies are not popular for a variety of reasons. They also get organizations that they have the usual suspects to try to go after the advertisers, and any support for political opponents. They want to boycott any company that doesn't fall in line with their political ideology. It's okay to boycott companies if there's a truly moral reason, not because of politics, and you just want to win and bully and intimidate your political opposition by ensuring they can't make money. If your ideas, if your political philosophy, if your policies can't withstand scrutiny, and you need to ensure that your political opposition can't make money, you're not boycotting on behalf of some kind of moral purpose. You're simply saying, okay, we can't win on our ideas or philosophy or value system alone. So we have to intimidate and bully. Trump doesn't do that. The true bullies are the people that Trump opposes. Trump doesn't do that. He'll go after somebody here and there, and maybe he pushes the envelope. Maybe even he says things you shouldn't say. But he doesn't want to ruin people, or organizations or businesses. Ruin them financially in order to get them to agree with his politics. Now, Breitbart came out with a report. Elon Musk says terrible move on Bill Gates' part over allegations of backing dark money fund. This is a big Zynga article, but it's about a Breitbart news report. Tesla Inc. and CEO Elon Musk blasted an alleged pouring of millions of dollars by Microsoft Corporation co-founder Bill Gates into a dark money fund, attacking him on Tuesday. What happened? Musk labeled Gates's alleged support to the fund as just a messed up move. The comment was made in response to a tweet by Mike Cernovich. And soon Evans shared a report by Breitbart that said it had identified millions of dollars flowing from the Gates Foundation to 11 of 26 organizations that urged a boycott of Twitter. That's interesting, too. It's really hilarious. Like you're gonna boycott Twitter. That is the one thing. So let's say Musk doesn't care. He doesn't care if Twitter survives or not, Twitter has been a platform to silence stories against Hunter and Joe, mashed potato brains Joe, and everyone within the Democratic Party, and amplify voices against Trump. And any information that turned out to be false, like the Steele dossier, or like Trump being installed by the Kremlin. Conspiratorial theories were amplified by Twitter's own headlines, and truthful stories like Hunter's emails and laptop were silenced. That's the world that Democrats want us to live in. And if they don't get their way, they're gonna go ahead and try to boycott Twitter. The problem is that platform has been the main, the most important advantage Democrats have. They have, Jimmy Kim, old ladies at the View social media algorithms up until Twitter tours purchased by Elon Musk. They have Intel officials, they have government officials we've seen, they have DC courts pretty much when you look at the privilege that they claim to oppose. Sussman lied, got out of it clear, lie to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Marion Jones, one of the great female athletes of all time, years back lied she got 6 months in prison. So they embody the systemic injustices and the privilege that they claim to oppose. But that Democrats have every single conceivable advantage possible. All of Hollywood, almost every publication, major publication in the country. And still 73 million Americans oppose them, more than that likely. In terms of people who didn't vote. And so Media Matters, the left-leaning nonprofit organization, and released the letter. And by the way, these people within Media Matters. They don't care if Bernie Sanders was cheated. I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders was most hardcore voters. According to the Washington Post, they don't care if Bernie Sanders was cheated. They don't care if the DNC primaries are a complete farce and theatrical performance. They are an extension of the Democratic Party. Okay. And there's got to be campaign finance laws. There's almost certainly has to be a campaign finance violation linked to organizations that only do the bidding of the Democratic Party, almost as if they're working for the Democratic Party. But here has released a letter signed by activist groups. Breitbart said the certain foundation recipient of the Gates Foundation funds also funds Media Matters and 5 other signatories. Okay, so you have 26 people, 26 organizations, non-governmental organizations saying they're going to boycott Twitter, which Elon Musk doesn't care about. He really doesn't care if he's the richest man in the world. And he might not end up being the richest man in the world soon because Tesla's stock price will go from 700, very likely down to 300. And or less. Bill Gates has a multi-billion-dollar short position. Now Gates in the pantheon of billionaires might not be the most moral person. But he knows business. And I think that although I want Elon Musk to prevail in terms politically, I want him to prevail, because Democrats only they want people silenced. They want debate, discussion, discourse, just completely erased from history. Offer an opposing viewpoint or opinion, they scream, and yell and shout when they hear information they deem to be false, while at the same time, pumping out absurd, conspiratorial theories about Trump and the Kremlin, and a whole bunch of other things that they've been wrong about. Then they flip-flop and they say, well, things change. But we're eventually right. And still, nobody trusts them for a whole bunch of reasons. But anyway, we used to be able to have the ability to think for ourselves. Democrats wanted the government governance board and they want social media algorithms to say caution. This is not true as they pump lies and false statements about a number of topics. That being said, and Bill Gates is all for that censorship, silencing, debate and discussion. But in my humble opinion, he's probably right about shorting Tesla. So he'll probably make a lot of money just because the stock price is overvalued. And we're still in a major bubble. And so Elon Musk is probably purchasing Twitter also, because he knows, but you can go through a list of things that Democrats said the past couple of years, especially when it comes to Trump being installed by another country. They weren't true. They said Hunter's emails was a false, divisive campaign by another country. No, that's not true. It was a legitimate story. We can go down the list. They lie. They get media to lie for them by omission. They get social media companies to silence any debate. And then they wonder why we have record highs in inflation and we're going into a recession right now. Their policies caused all of this, and I explained in my Federalist article in October of 2021. I also explained the stock market crash channel in September of 2021. And on this channel, in September of 2021, Elon Musk discovered a campaign against him. He knew that it was going to happen. And he purchased Twitter to ensure that the social media platform wasn't used to just go after him and destroy everything he's worked for. That's a good thing. Twitter will no longer be the megaphone for Democrats to yell that another. Their opposition was installed by another country, or the DNC emails was another country's attempt to let you know that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Okay, everything detrimental to the Democratic Party is repackaged and remarketed as another country's attempt to let you know how despicable Democrats are. That's forcing you to vote for their opponents. And then they think that's against democracy. That's the antithesis of democracy, to find out how bad and horrible they are. Well, sorry. You're not going to have a platform that actually creates new cycles anymore. They're going into November of this year. Knowing that the House and the Senate will be Republican, Trump Republican, that the Trump Republicans are going to investigate them with greater enthusiasm and passion than they ever investigated Trump. They're not going to have Twitter anymore, to silence critics. That's why everybody wants to boycott Twitter. On the left, the hilarious thing is that they're going to try to boycott the one social media platform that actually gave them the greatest advantage on social media. So now they don't have that platform anymore. They don't have Twitter anymore. And they can't stand it. And now you have Bill Gates funding political opposition against Elon Musk. And the motivation I'm not going to even get into, because they're not really natural rivals, but maybe they both in technology. They're both trying to combat climate change in their own way. So maybe Bill Gates views Elon Musk as a huge rival and wants to, stop him. He won't be able to because Musk what he did. That was an amazing move. Amazing chess strategic move, purchasing Twitter. Thanks for being here, folks. Big hug. Ciao. Goodbye, God bless. We'll see you in the next one. Remember, where we go one, we go all.